SEGA.
Welcome everybody, it is Mario Man 2100 back again with another first impressions video, and it's time for Resonance of Fate. Produced by SEGA, developed by Tri-Ace. Really wondering why I'm getting into a game like this. I think it's an RPG, I believe. Type of game. Yeah. You're probably wondering why I'm getting into a game like this. I actually have experienced these characters from this game in a game called Project Cross Zone. And ultimately I believe they're in Project Cross Zone 2 as well, but I haven't played that much of that game at all. And that came out, I think that game came out in 2016, Project Cross Zone 2. But I think the original was out in 2014, I believe. Full Japanese dialogue and everything. It featured many characters from the SEGA, Bandai Namco, and Capcom universes. So we had like Ryu and Ken, we had Akira from Virtua Fighter, we had of course Ryu and Ken, like I said, from Street Fighter. We had a lot of different characters. Ulala from Space Channel 5, Space Channel 5 was in there. We had a few Fate characters, Fate Zero, I believe, or something like that. Or is that an anime? That's an anime. I don't think it was that. We had a lot of different games in that. I think the second one has like something like Phoenix Wright, from Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney and SEGA Sanjiro and characters like that. But it featured some of the characters, some of the main characters in Resonance of Fate, and I was very interested to actually see what this game was all about after experiencing the characters and their story, because they really do go into the story of some of their games in Project Cross Zone, and Project Cross Zone 2 would probably do the same thing, I would assume. And they kind of went a little bit into their backstory a little bit in that game, and I was very interested to see what this game was all about. And this was something that I wanted on eBay for a while. Even before I think I played Project Cross Zone, I think it was like an interesting game. It was just like, oh, this is like a Japanese RPG. Now that clock face is used in the special attack in Project Cross Zone, but I never usually got the reference.
Huh? What'd you say?
I'm really alive.
Not for long, you aren't.
I don't know how, but I'm alive.
How can you smile?
You're smiling.
Me? This is it. Don't look away.
But I don't look away. Which way?
Down.
So the animation is a lot like Square Enix with the Final Fantasy games, especially with Final Fantasies 7 through to even 10. I'm not sure about 12 because I haven't played that game in a while, and I really don't like that game. 13 had some good opening cutscenes and that sort of thing, and 15, when I played that starting bit, that was amazing. But it's good quality cutscenes, I will admit. Like the opening FMVs, the full motion videos. Goddamn, some of these RPG games are absolutely astronomical, especially like Final Fantasy 9. Like, you have a look at that game, that's a PlayStation 1 game. You have a look at the graphics in the FMV, that is timeless. Like, oh my god. Final Fantasy 8s as well. 7s, yeah, I think it's more the in-game models more so than anything else in that game. But then again, that's the first time they tried it out on the PlayStation 1. So we're going to go through the prologue, Star from the Heavens. So did that event actually happen, or does that happen later in the game, or... These are the questions I usually have when it comes to an RPG. Press start. Okay, so talk menu is triangle, so it's a bit like Final Fantasy 13 in that instance. So we have Zephyr, Vacheron, and Leon. I couldn't remember the names, but they're the character. These three characters are in Project Cross Zone. I believe are also in Project Cross Zone 2 as well. I'm not sure about if there's any more. Oh, I thought that was like a Daryl Lee advertisement in the background. Kind of looks like one on the gear there, over in that direction. Excuse me, my voice is going all weird today. So I believe the guild is down here. And I love music and RPGs. They're really, really.
Hi.
Okay, so let's go inside. But yeah, music and RPGs, amazing. They're so good.
Hey there.
No, don't have any of those. Oh, so they have bestiaries in this game as well. Many RPGs have that type of thing. So they have a new mission. So I'm guessing the rest of these are side missions or submissions that you can do. So I believe this is a game that is an RPG that uses like guns as weapons. Okay, so circle is that. Can't press square. Can't switch or anything. Okay. So let's go out and see what. Oh, so the rooms are a little bit like Final Fantasy, like some of the old Final Fantasy games.
Hi.
Take a look at this. And then the next destination is in a pink frame, okay. Enemies do not appear in safe areas, that's duh. It's an obvious one. So time passes, so it's got a day-night system while you're on the world map as well, which is good. That's cool. Okay, so square on the map, up and down, move the cursor, rotate the X, go one R1 and press the X to lay down. Okay. Okay, so I'm guessing. It's down this way. So I haven't got any as of yet. Okay. So let's go to the arena and battle in here.
What's up?
So we have rounds, we have perfect aid, first aid, and hand grenades.
Hey there.
How many things? Oh no. This is gonna be a long long tutorial, I believe. Right, so moving around with the left analog stick, switching targets with the directional pad, moving the camera with the right analog stick, locking on with R3, which weird, but anyway. X to begin charging once the circular gauge fills. The charge is complete, press X to fire. Map information. Some battles cannot be played well. Duh, that's the main in RPGs.
Pick a target, kill, repeat. Here goes. Time to die. You want some more? Like crushing a bug. Squish.
What? Zephyr. That was really weird, dude. Like, I mean, some of the, and I will say when it comes to Project Cross Zone, to go back to that game, all that is in Japanese. There's no English, like it's English subtitled with the text boxes, and that's why in some ways that game took so long. But there's no English dialogue at all, I think. And I think Project Cross Zone 2 is the same. I think there might be like one or two characters that might have like English voice acting, but at the same time. Wait, so what was that? So I don't know what I'm doing right now. I didn't pay attention. I didn't pay attention, so I'm going to quit and go back in. Oh, okay. So I switch between the characters in my turn.
Poor lucky bastards. Like crushing a bug. Squish.
I hope that's not the only thing it says, because that would be really annoying. Okay, scratch damage recovers with time and does not destroy the target. Reduced to 0, but becomes direct damage once direct damage is sustained. Okay, so it's a little bit like Street Fighter 5 when you're blocking and you're getting hit stun all the time. It's not like Marvel vs. Capcom where you get chip damage. It's a little bit like trying to think. Tekken, I think, does it a little bit. And Street Fighter 5 does it as well, where you can take a little bit of chip damage, but if you don't get hit by like a main hit, you won't lose that health, you'll actually regain it back after a while, which is kind of cool. Wouldn't be bad, it wouldn't be good fair. Oh, okay.
Boring. Where are the real enemies?
That's a good point. Alright, hero gauge. Alright, shows the character's current condition as long as at least one completed bezel remains. All damage sustained by the party is counted as scratch damage. Okay, so when the scratch damage is reduced to 0, the hero's gauge depletes and their health will be restored to full. Each bezel is equal to 1000 HP. Jesus Christ. That's pretty good. Bezels are consumed until the character's scratch damage is fully restored. Consumed bezels shatter and are scattered around the area. So I think you have to pick them up when that happens. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I thought I had to question it, and I got my question answered. That was very simple.
I hope you put up a better fight than the last one. This the spot? This can't be good. Time to die. You want some more?
Dude, I'm a standing target and you missed.
You don't want to miss this. They break too easy.
Typical RPG protagonist. Say stuff like that. So I'll go back there if I need to, but I got some of the tutorial down packed, which is good. So I don't know how to progress. So do I have to go through all the tutorials to get something like the squares? Jeez, that's gonna suck. Oh no, I hate when an RPG does something like this. I know it's just trying to tell me the mechanics of the game, but at the same time, you know, maybe it's because I've played Kingdom Hearts for so long that it's just get right into the action. Like pretty much straight away. Like it tells you things, but at the same time it does so with like battles that are interesting and stuff. Characters can expend one bezel to attack while moving. I expend to use. Press square to show the anchor cursor. Position the anchor to set the detonation. Then confirm to begin moving. As character begins moving, they will continuously attack without being counter-attacked, or will stop if they collide with an obstacle. So begin moving, so square is anchor. Move, cancel to do that. So while moving you can stop, you can jump, or you can attack. So the enemies also get a charge before attacking, which is good. So while our character's turn is ongoing, they are open to enemy fire. When a character turn ends, enemies with complete charges targeting other characters will get a turn to attack. Okay.
I hope you put up a better fight than the last punch. Some of this. You want some? Don't move away. Take that. That wasn't much harder than target practice.
Well, they were targets, Zephyr. We'll say that now. So I reckon I'm gonna leave it there when it comes to Resonance of Fate. What do I think? I think it's good. Just wish it was more clear on what to do after, you know, like I wouldn't have to go through all the tutorial and actually just give me some stuff to go. But other than that, I think that the control structure is pretty cool. I think that the story is kind of interesting. Well, the little bit of story that we've got so far, because we haven't got much at all. I think that's good. The world is kind of interesting in its own way. I think it feels like a little bit like Xenoblade Chronicles, and I usually say that when it comes to new RPGs, is that they feel very different from things like typical RPGs like Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, in particular those two. I haven't played many Western RPGs, so I can't really talk about that. The only Western type RPG type open world games that I've played are Final Fantasy 15. I've only played like about 2 hours of that, and Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I've played over. I'd be pretty close to 50 hours, I think, in that game. So particularly when it comes to those, you know, like that's a completely different thing. But ultimately, you know, playing Final Fantasy, like the older Final Fantasy games and Kingdom Hearts all throughout that series, and playing Final Fantasy 15 and Zelda Breath of the Wild, I particularly haven't, you know, this does definitely feel different. It definitely feels like something like, well, I wouldn't say it's like Xenoblade Chronicles, but it's, in a way, it's like Xenoblade Chronicles where it's a new thing that I just have to get used to, because Xenoblade Chronicles felt like a tactical RPG to me, a little bit, in terms of the attack and control control structure, because it wasn't like an ATB system, and it wasn't like a, you know, like action RPG type series like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy 15 when it comes to that combat in that game. Particularly, it felt more like an ATB system, but it wasn't exactly like an ATB system at the same time. It was like its own little thing. And I haven't played like Xenogears or Xenosaga, so I'm wondering, I'm kind of interested to at least try those games out if I can find them, because they're probably very hard to find at this point, to see if Xenoblade Chronicles feels like those games in particular, more so than anything else, because I know that Xenoblade Chronicles X controls pretty close to the same way. The world isn't exactly the same, and I think that Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is at this time coming out, I think this weekend, when I'm recording this, I think December 1st, I think is when it's supposed to come out, and so when I'm recording it, it's tomorrow actually. I didn't realise that. Jeez, that's come so quick. Holy shit, December has come so quick. Fuck. But when I get to uploading this, it might not be December. It might not be late November. Probably it won't be November, but it probably won't be December either. When I get to actually uploading this. But anyway, with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching my first impressions of Resonance of Fate for the Sony PlayStation 3. You guys have a great day on that, and of course, take care.